Welcome to San Mateo County Today. Conversations with government leaders throughout San Mateo County. Here's your host, Marshall Wilson.
A new sales tax is taking effect in Belmont. There's lots of construction underway and a lot of roadway improvements to look forward to. Today on San Mateo County Today, we're joined by Charles Stone, the mayor of Belmont, who's going to give us an update. Welcome to San Mateo County Today. I'm your host, Marshall Wilson. I'm joined today by Charles Stone, the mayor of Belmont. So Charles, thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for having me, Marshall.
Hey, a lot going on in Belmont these days, quite a number of infrastructure projects. You have a new sales tax that's taking effect. So, and also Belmont's trying to form something it's never had, a true downtown. So tell us about that.
Yeah, one of the reasons I ran for council was the lack of kind of a centralized downtown where people could get out of their cars, walk around, interact with each other, and something that would attract the types of shops and retail establishments and restaurants that we see in San Mateo and Redwood City that we really haven't seen in Belmont ever. We made that a priority early on in my term, and we're very close to finalizing the Belmont Village specific plan. Now that's a plan that really intensifies the number of uses in the corridor around Ralston and El Camino, and also offers the opportunity for things like lot aggregation that we're standing in the way of really getting kind of the critical mass we need for the private sector to come in and build us this downtown that we want. Along with that is going to come some housing, and I think that's probably a good thing. There's an affordability crisis when it comes to housing on the peninsula, unlike anything most of us have ever seen, and to the extent that Belmont can do something about that too at the same time, that's a good thing. And when we do that, we're going to kind of reach the critical mass of people that need to live near a downtown to make it look viable to developers and business owners to want to come there and locate their businesses there.
Well, two quick questions about that. One is, if people want to learn more about that plan, where can they go to find out information about it, and where is the status of that? And then two is, what is the vision? Are we looking at high rises down there, big retail, small retail? What is that vision?
So that's a great question. And first of all, if people want to learn more about this, you can go to the City of Belmont website, belmont.gov, and there's lots of information. We actually have a Belmont Village specific plan website all its own. If you Google Belmont Village specific plan, that's probably the easiest way to find it. And you'll find all the documents and links to the meetings, and actually you can go online and watch the meetings we've had about this, the community workshops we've had where we've engaged with the public to see what they think, what they want. All of that's pretty easy to find online. In terms of what the vision is, we all have seen what's happened in Redwood City over the last few years, and some people like it, some people don't. But Redwood City is a bigger town, so you're going to see larger buildings there. In Belmont, we're talking about 3, 4, maybe 5-story development at the most. And right now, you can't go over 3. And as the plan currently stands, most of them, I think, will be around 4. You might see something 5, maybe on the other side of Old County Road. But that's kind of the scale we're talking about. What's very important to us that is in the process of doing this, that we retain our neighborhood characteristics, Belmont's charm, and that's why it's called the Belmont Village specific plan. We really are a village, and while we think we can have a vibrant downtown, we don't want to lose the feel and the look of that village.
Great. So one thing that Belmont has done, which a lot of communities are turning to now, is basically having local sales taxes and local taxes for local needs. And the way finance works is, I know you know, that a lot of the funding the cities and local government gets is passed through from the state or federal governments oftentimes. But this is a way, and also property taxes, of course, but this is a way for you to control a revenue source. So tell us about Measure I and what that's going to be used for.
Measure I was a really exciting thing for Belmont last year. The council sort of took a leap of faith that the community was ready to understand that the reason we had some of the worst roads in San Mateo County was that we simply didn't have enough revenue to keep up, roads, storm drains, infrastructure like that. I'm really grateful that we live in a community where people listened past the noise and looked up the facts and figured out that, yeah, this was something we need. So Measure I was a 0.5% sales tax, 0.5% sales tax, and it's going to generate about $1.3 million a year of new revenue for Belmont. Now, while this is a general sales tax, which means it goes into the general fund of Belmont, the City Council has been very clear that its intent is to use this money for the purpose for which it was marketed, which is to fix our roads and storm drains. Now, what does $1.3 million a year get you? It doesn't get us the best roads in San Mateo County, but it stops the bleeding. It helps us kind of stabilize, and we can start to claw our way back. We're actually going to be talking about this in April. We're going to be deciding how our Citizens Advisory Committee is going to look and what they're going to do. And we're also going to be talking about how we want to spend the money and what projects we'll be looking at doing.
And what are some of the key projects? So you said, storm drains, roadway improvements. We're looking like up and down Ralston Avenue. I know there's a big storm culvert that goes through there. Where are we looking at? And has that really been a big problem, or are you trying to head off problems that you know are going to happen in the future?
Sure. Well, Ralston actually is a unique animal because it's an arterial road. We can depend on some federal money for that we can't with other roads. So Ralston, if you'll notice, is actually in pretty good condition most of the time. But for instance, Masonic, which is where the post office is, Buena Vista, which is where Cipriani Elementary School is, Middle Road, where Central Elementary School is, these roads that are traveled a lot but aren't arterials, some of them aren't collector roads, they don't get up in the algorithm high enough that anything real is done about them. And as a result, they look like the surface of the moon. You could drive by Braille, blah, 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 blah. So for me personally, and I'm one of 5, I don't know how my colleagues are going to feel about this, I'm hoping we can dedicate some of this money to projects like that, roads that have really fallen far behind. Now, the trade-off there is when you're allocating resources to these really bad roads, they cost a lot to fix. So you're going to have to give up some of the money you would have allocated to keeping the really good roads in good condition. And where the sweet spot is, that's what we're going to be talking about next month.
So roads, infrastructure, some of those really basic needs that local government provides. This has been a great conversation, and we'll be back in about a minute with more from Charles Stone, the Mayor of Belmont.